I'm going to kind of speed run through chapter 7 and chapter 8. Chapter 7 started off talking about motivation, talking about intrinsic and extrinsic, the two different types. Intrinsic being doing things for your own self satisfaction, including the need for competence and the need for self-determination. And then extrinsic being doing things for external rewards like compliments or salary-based pay or different things like that. It talked about the different kinds of pay, including seniority pay, job content pay, skill-based pay, and then performance level pay, and how performance level can have individual or team and organizational levels within that. It talked about motivation over time, and how as the older we get, our fluid intelligence kind of declines, but our crystallized intelligence increases, so you should take that into account when assigning people to different jobs. It talked about increasing motivation in 5 different steps, and then it talked about job design and the 3 different characteristics of job design, being job enlargement, job enrichment, and job rotation. It talked about how job design can improve both performance and productivity, and you can track that with scientific management, including Taylorism, which will track time and motions required to complete tasks. It talked about the 5 dimensions of jobs in the job characteristic model, including skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback. And then it talked about the Hackman and Odom job characteristics model. It talked about psychological empowerment, which is basically just personal satisfaction within your job, and how that includes competence, self-determination, impact, and meaningfulness. And then talked about non-traditional work schedules, which can include free agents, freelancers, part-time, flex time, compressed work weeks, job schedule, job sharing, and remote workers. And then chapter 8 got on to talking about teams and groups and the differences between the two. Teams basically meaning that different people come together to use their identities and skills to get together to complete something, and then a group, everyone kind of diversifies, so it's a lot of people, but everyone's doing their own thing. It talked about how teams work best when there are more than 3 people, but less than 7. It talked about psychological safety and how that's the most important thing within a efficient group, and that's basically just people feeling safe enough to trust their group members. I talked about how psychological safety differs from trust, because trust is how one person might perceive another person, but psychological safety is how one person might perceive the behaviors of the group as a whole. It talked about effective teams and how you can make that better by nurturing relationships, giving honest feedback, supporting remote workers, and matching people with passion, so giving them jobs that they actually enjoy and feel like they're doing something for. It talked about the Tuckman model, team model, which is forming, norming, storming, performing, and then adjourning. And then it talked about the opposite of that, which is the Gersic punctuated equilibrium model, which said that people went through low performance and then storming and then high performance and then adjourning, so kind of dismembering. It talked about norms and cohesion, norms being the rules for like teams, and then cohesion being how teams connect to each other, how those can help create a team charter and good synergy. It talked about process losses and process gains. Process losses can lead to social loafing and cyber loafing. It talked about different team types, including virtual, self-managing, problem solving, and cross-functional. It talked about cross-cultural diversity, and then team contextual influences. It talked about team composition, including size, skills and abilities, personalities, and diversity of members. And it talked about the attraction, selection, and attrition model, also known as ASA. And then it talks about decision making and how you can use brainstorming, you can slow down, which I'm not doing, you can draw or you can write, nominal group techniques, Delphi techniques, and then the advantages and disadvantages of decision making within teams.